Okay, so we got to clarify this one because it's now leading to a lot of widespread confusion and clickbait right now in the Dragon Ball fandom. This story that's being, reported by several different magazines and online websites and whatnot. Comicbook.com, for example, has one as you see on your screen, but they get their information from us. I've seen them very often get their information from the same people that we get our information from: Herms, Therese, myself, AJ. So the problem is there's some confusion going on here when it comes to Dragon Ball Super Broly and this story about it having 70 minutes of deleted scenes. Now, a lot of people will see that pop up in their feed and they won't even click it, and you're going to assume, whoa, that's great, there's going to be a longer cut, an extended cut of the movie, a director's cut. And that is not the case at all. We have to talk about this real quick. So the story here is that Tatsuya Nagamine, the director of the movie, did an interview with Animage magazine, and he talked about how there were 70 minutes of storyboard and script content cut. Now, this is actually what is said in the article, right? The article itself is not wrong. It's just that it's not deleted scenes, it's storyboard. So if you're out there and you think there's going to be a longer cut of Broly, that is not the case at all. The theatrical cut's the only one that we have as far as we've been told. There has not been any announcement of an extended cut. On both the Funimation and the Japanese Blu-ray, there is no extended cut of the movie. It was just never animated. So let me go over to the actual original translation here from Deem. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this translation, a lot of stuff. And the stuff that was translated was for the whole interview, because it wasn't just about Dragon Ball, but I'm going to skip to the Dragon Ball stuff. So Dean pretty much says that in November, he took the scenario that Toriyama wrote, which is the script, and started drawing the storyboard out of it with 2 more people. The whole process took them around 2 months. They ended up with 170 minutes of storyboard, so they cut around 70 minutes of it. Storyboard is not animation. Storyboard is still pictures that are being used as a guide to kind of tell the movie through still pictures. If you just Google storyboards, or if you watch any behind the scenes documentary on any kind of movie or animated movie, you know what a storyboard is. This is not animated footage. There's not going to be 70 minutes of animated footage from this movie coming out. It's just not going to happen. This is just the storyboard. Basically, they had the original film, they drew it out, and then they realized if they're going to make it special and make it look great and all that stuff and make it fit within a certain time, they had to cut some stuff out. And that's what they're talking about here. The movie never had 70 minutes of extra animation. It's just storyboards, and that's it. And some more details here. Dean goes on to say, some of the scenes that got cut were a fight between Nappa and Raditz, a past moment of Vegeta and Raditz's childhood, and most of the cut scenes were before the battle part. So, like I suspected, if there was stuff cut, it was all from prior to the Broly fight, all the stuff from Planet Vegeta, which, because when you watch that stuff, it just seems very disjointed, when you watch it in the film. So, this stuff was storyboarded, planned to be in the film, and then they realized we can't put it in because it would make the movie too long. And also, to be honest with you, as much as a Dragon Ball fan, I would love to have seen Nappa and Raditz fight, it doesn't really go with the story. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the story of Broly. You know what I mean? Or Goku or Vegeta. It's just an extra bonus thing Toriyama threw in there, which would be cool. Now, the Vegeta and Raditz's childhood moment, though, that one sounds like it could be pretty interesting. It could be. I would love it if they actually did reveal the storyboards and we got pictures of what they were planning, but again, none of that was actually animated. So he talks about here how the movie had a tremendously well done budget. He talks about how Toei didn't put any effort to help the quality of Super. He said, do your best to the staff, and that to me is kind of, that right there is a very telling sign. Nagamine says that before the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Toei did not really want to help the quality of Super, and that is a huge thing. That's why Toriyama was complaining about 3 years ago about it, and I assure you that when Super does come back, Toei's going to handle it much differently now. Now they know they have a moneymaker. When Super comes back, it's going to be a pretty well-budgeted anime. It'll be better than it was the first time as far as visually goes, so we'll see. But it is interesting, though, that he actually kind of buries Toei here. I think that's really interesting. And then Deem goes on to say, being asked if he wasn't worried that with the amount of action the production would collapse, Nagamine said that Toei has the power to manage things even if they consider it a collapse in other studios. So again, that's a lot of really interesting, insightful information. This is why, like, it's hard for them to have like One Piece and Dragon Ball running at the same time. At least it was the first time, because they just don't have the schedule for it. But they have better pre-planning this go around, and then they talk about like Shida and Onishi and different animators that got their spot. So it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool interview. I mean, you can check it out. I'll leave the link to the whole thing down below if you want to read the entire translation. It's a lot of stuff, guys. It's a lot of stuff. Not all of it's about Dragon Ball, but the interesting stuff is that there were deleted scenes, but they were not animated. You're not going to get an extended cut of this film, at least not to my knowledge. It hasn't been announced yet. So don't believe anybody who tells you otherwise. It's just storyboards. But again, I would love to see the storyboards, because remember, storyboards are kind of like a comic book, like a manga. You know, you've got panels, right, of action and of scenes and things like that. I would love to see how that played out, and I would love it if they actually did release the original Toriyama script just to see what they cut out and what he put in, because that's always been interesting to me. Anyways, unfortunately, no extended cut of Broly. Maybe it'll get retold in Super. Maybe we'll see it in Super, but I highly doubt that, because to my knowledge, Super's going to move beyond Broly. You're going to have to go see the Broly movie and then watch the Return of Super, because they're probably going to skip the Broly retelling arc. But again, I don't know for sure. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. And subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a like, because that's cool. And I'll talk to y'all soon.